Are you okay?
Okay.
All right, we're connecting. All right, and we are live. Thanks everyone to the portal, my show where we step into vision, creativity, and a conversation around vision. And yeah, today I have Monique Renee here. And Monique works with women leaders and entrepreneurs who are redefining success through spiritual alignment and sacred life design. And in this conversation, we explore what it means to lead from inner coherence and how personal alignment shapes how we show up in the world. Welcome, Monique.
Thank you, Maria. I'm so thrilled to be here. This is exciting. I can't wait to also just experience your talents this evening and the journey that you're going to take me on, which I'm sure will be really helpful for me. So I'm grateful to you for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Why don't we start with a little bit more background on you and your work and what's currently alive?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Thank you. So, I look at my life journey up until this point, and I like to say that it's a journey of alignment, truly for myself. And um, it's like two roads that merged into one over many, many, many years. And the two roads were leadership. Um, and I did not study leadership or business in college. I had I would say about a 10 to 15-year career in public relations, which I really did enjoy. But as a young graduate out of college, the vision that I had for what the workplace was going to be like and the leaders that I would be working with was the complete opposite. It was shocking. In fact, I worked for several toxic leaders. I can call them toxic leaders now because I understand what that means. But back then, I just didn't understand it. Why are they treating people this way? Why are they screaming instead of talking? Why are they only concerned about themselves? I can go on and on. And those experiences actually made me sick. I didn't realize that they made me sick until one day when I was able to leave one of those organizations. The illness that had started just immediately went away. And it created this powerful connection in my consciousness that told me, oh my goodness, these toxic environments made me sick, right? And it wasn't just that. I also recognized that I allowed it to happen, right? And so I saw the connection of both, how important leadership is, healthy leadership for workplaces and for individuals who work for those leaders, but also for the leaders themselves, right? If they're in a toxic place, what's happening to them? How are they going to have healthy, vibrant lives? So that theme kind of just stayed with me for a while in my early career. Um, and then the second trajectory was my deep spirituality. I was connected to, I would say, mysticism and spirituality as a young child. I would teach myself all sorts of different practices. I taught myself feng shui. Back then, there were no schools or conferences per se. You just had to go to the library and check out books. But I had a deep, deep desire to learn about spirituality and mysticism. And so I taught myself astrology. I taught myself um, feng shui. And later on in life, when I had the means to do it and programs started developing, then I became certified in many modalities. I would say that at the undercurrent of all of them is energy, right? And
Mhm.
flow. And so later on in my career, I became a certified professional coach in energy leadership. And because I worked for a higher education, higher institution, I was able to bring the leadership coaching and training together with the spirituality and holistic well being of leaders. And it merged into what my career is today. And I would say that my focus is women because I've attracted women leaders to, to my practice. And I also think that we're in a time where, as women entrepreneurs, um, the work that we're doing is because of our experiences, right? It's because I went through what I went through that I could support other women who are also perhaps going through those life challenges, and help them to get on the other side of it.
Mhm. Yeah, beautiful. And
Thank
how did
you.
that manifest in your work? So what did that lead
Funny
you to?
story. I say that I'll be honest, and I'm sure a lot of people listening will understand because I feel like we're in this conscious revolution where getting to be okay with being all that we are, right? Our whole self. And my whole self has always been spiritual, practical, right? And merging the two is what I am. I'm afraid to be upfront and forthright about my deep desire to work in spiritual and business leaders and entrepreneurs on that journey. And so it was a slow, slow crawl before I could say that I came out of my spiritual closet. Um, when I left my almost 20 career in higher education, in the business school, um, and launched my own business, that's when I really, just told myself it's now or never. There are still days where I have to say it's difficult to put my whole self out there, but that's the journey. That's the journey that I'm on, and that's the journey that I want to support others with. It started with when I was working at the university. I went to a conference. I don't know if there are any other Hay House conference people out there. In my early 20s, I started going to Hay House conferences, where you had, Marianne Williamson and Wayne Dyer and Greg Braden and Carolyn Mason, all of these incredible, um, smart, philosophical, spiritual leaders. And I came across a woman. At that time, I had a young child. He was in kindergarten, I think it was, or pre-K. And I went to her workshop and she talked about how we can learn about our children by looking at their faces. And I said, this is the most interesting thing ever. But my role as a mother was so strong. I said, that's the workshop I want to go to. And I left that workshop in tears because nobody had ever described my son to me with such clarity as that woman. And she never met him, never looked at photos of him. But I was taking in everything she was sharing with us, which is everything on our face corresponds to an aspect of our gifts, our talents, and our personality. And I left that day and I said to her, please tell me that you have a course, a certification program. I need to learn this and I need to bring this into my wisdom school. And so that's what I did. I became a Chinese face reader. I learned feng shui, astrology, which is one and the same with this wisdom school, and also became a feng shui practitioner. So I brought all of those three sciences together and really helped individuals understand themselves super deeply and recognize what their pattern of flow is, right? We live in a world where stress and overwhelm is just overtaking our life. We don't know how to slow down. We don't know how to pause. We don't even know who we are. We can be successful with an incredible salary, the house of our dreams, and we can still feel lost and stuck and unclear. And that opened my eyes to this wisdom and bringing it forward in my coaching along with the leadership training and coaching that I was doing. But it really like a holistic body of work to help leaders find meaningful, sacred lives that are grounded in their authenticity and their purpose and being able to be themselves and be successful being themselves instead of living in the shadow or wearing all of the masks that we think we need to wear to be successful.
Hmm.
So that's how it started with that one practice, that one tool. And eventually, 10 years ago, I created a tool called the Flow Roadmap, which is a one-page energetic dashboard, which shares with us our primary energy archetypes. And every year it tells us the energy of our year, right? There are some years that want us to push hard and succeed. There are other years that want us to go within ourselves and in our minds and in our vision. There are other years where we're meant to just celebrate life. We're not always supposed to be on that high gear of life. And so I really want to help leaders find that balance and that harmony.
Hmm. Yeah, you mentioned alignment a lot, and that's like a very fundamental core to the teaching or the your work. Um, how does that look like for, individual alignment if you're within a misaligned system? If the systems around you are misaligned, because that's what we're dealing with, right, in this world.
Yeah, I think that the alignment begins with understanding that you're out of alignment, right? And it's an intuitive message that our body is whispering to us constantly. But we're either not pausing enough to really listen to our intuition or we're ignoring our intuition. So a big part of the practice of alignment is getting to that place of learning the messages that our bodies are giving us, right? And trusting ourselves. And so the first thing that I like to do when I work with individuals honestly, it's just good coaching. It's asking a lot of questions. It's finding out why they're even here. Why do you want to work with me? What's going on for you in your life? Where are you feeling out of alignment? And having that conversation and slowly bringing them back to their body, to their breath, to who they were as children. One of the biggest gifts that we have is who we were as children, right? Our when we're children, we're so aligned with spirit, with ourselves. We don't know how not to be who we are, but we forget who we are. So a big part of getting back into alignment is remembering who I am, remembering who I used to be, the things that brought me joy, the uniqueness that I always offered, the things that you didn't have to pay me to do, and I would show up and do it with joy and excitement, right? Um, we forget a lot about those things because we're in the mindset of this is what it takes to be successful, or this is what she's doing to be successful. And I want to do what she's doing. So maybe I'm going to mimic what she's doing, right? I'm going to create the business model that she has instead of creating the business model that's right for me, that's aligned with my talent, with my gifts, with um, my wholeness. So that's one piece. I do have many energetic and spiritual tools that I love to use, and I use them with all my clients. And I am an astrologer, a Western tropical astrologer. So I use astrology and I also use the feng shui astrology. I bring both of them together to help remind my clients of who they are and what they're here to do in this lifetime, right? And we go back and forth with that wisdom, right? Until they get to a space where they're able to see it clearly, own it, get excited about it again. And once we're there, then we can talk about strategy, right?
Mhm.
But there's a lot of discovery and a lot of alignment before we get to strategy and making it happen in
Yeah.
the real world. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's one of the big pieces is the making it happen in the real world because, there's the personal healing journey, but then, where does that meet our collective responsibility, right?
And that's where balance, the reason why I love working with feng shui is at the root of feng shui, Chinese medicine, Chinese face reading, all these things that I learned is the five elements, right? The five elements: water, wood, fire, earth, and metal. They encompass everything and they are inside of us. They are a part of our personality. They are part of our bodies and they are outside of us in nature. Nature tells us how it operates. Nature tells us how to find balance, but we're not paying attention. We're not connecting with nature. And that's a big part of the practice too, is recognizing that there's duality in life. It's never going to be one thing. We're not always going to feel peaceful, right? It's typically through chaos that we recognize how to get to peace and vice versa, right? So we're always in a state of aligning ourselves and finding harmony. We're never not in a state of finding that balance. And the
Mm.
sooner that we can accept it and just understand that it's part of the rhythm of life and we flow with it and we work in the moment to moment presence, we could be okay with the chaos, right? We could be in the middle of a storm happening outside of us and still find peace and still align with our purpose and still do good work in the world instead of letting the chaos override us. That makes sense?
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I agree. Do we, yeah, so, and that, leads back to community, like being a,
Yeah.
uh,
You can do this alone, but it would not be as enjoyable because in community, we can also understand that we're not alone and that what we're going through, there's so many people going through this. And just that alone opens us up. It opens up our hearts because when when we feel like we're warriors um, going to battle by ourselves and no one has our back, we're not opening our hearts and our spirits up to, open to the change that needs to happen, right? We have to break down before we can break through. And community is a beautiful way of doing that.
yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I also see the I've talked about the misaligned systems before. We are living in a world that is very misaligned. Um, and individual healing is very important. Um, but that's only one step, right? At some point, there's a collective um,
Absolutely.
alignment.
I'm a huge advocate of healing. I heal myself every day. I've come to a place and I designed my life so that it feels sacred, so that it feels like a sacred container holding me. And I have my practices that allow me to heal myself, right? Whether I'm doing Reiki to myself, whether I'm, meditating in the morning and also in the afternoon, I find my pockets where I get quiet, where I do the work because I can't be a good coach. I can't be a good, quote unquote healer for others or a good guide for others if I'm not doing it for myself. And I think part of our journey here on Earth, I call it Earth School, is to recognize that we're always healing. We're always on that journey until we take our last breath. We're never fully healed. There's always going to be something that we're going to have to work through, break through. Hopefully, each time it gets us a little bit higher up on that, energetic scale where the healing happens quicker and quicker and faster, um, with less suffering. I feel like sometimes we make ourselves suffer, right? When we're not conscious. We just keep doing what we've been doing, and we don't want to see patterns that need to be broken and where we need to take personal responsibility, right? So I have coaches, I have healers that I go to, but I also do the work myself for myself every single day, even if it's just for a few minutes, to find that equilibrium um, every single day.
Hmm. Why do you think that's important?
I just feel better. You know, I feel balanced. I know that balance is one of those words that a lot of people don't like to talk about, and they believe that it's not possible. And of course, in a perfect world, nothing is going to be perfectly balanced, right? But I do believe that how we choose to find balance or harmony or equilibrium in each moment, we get to make that happen. It's a personal choice, right? We're either at the effect of life or we are guiding and leading our lives. And I prefer to lead my life instead of being at the effect of it, right? And I'm human, believe me. Most of my friends know that you're going to get the worst of me when I'm driving. When I'm behind the wheel in Miami. Miami, Florida has horrible traffic. And it is the one place where, God, you'll get the worst of me. But I work on it. I acknowledge it. I'm honest about it. And every single day I'm working to get better and better at it. Go slower, breathe deep, don't be in a rush. Don't scream at people. You don't want people screaming at you, right? I'm human. We're all human and we're going to have our human moments, but we can find that balance moment to moment through our choice and through being the leaders of life. And that's the way I look at it.
Yeah. Let's circle back to your work. What is the impact that you want to have on for other people? What would really what is your success for, you know, when you see that in other people, for like what it does for them, what the impact is?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And to be very honest, I had a conversation with someone recently about, like, I don't have this like perfect vision in my mind of my life 10, 15, 20 years from now. This is what it has to be. This is what I want it to look like. I simply want to feel that the work that I do every day, and the women, mostly because it's women, I do work with men as well. The people that I work with, they're living their dreams. They're breaking their barriers. They're being conscious leaders. They understand what conscious leadership is. They're they're designing lives that are sacred to them. It may not look what my life is like, right? My definition of a sacred life may not be what their definition of a sacred life is, but that doesn't matter to me. I want women to feel free. I want them to break free of the chains that they have been in, whether it's the corporate world, whether it's having more time for themselves, for their self-care, to build a business or a hobby of their dreams. It doesn't matter. Like, it's not that black and white for me. I just want to hear more of thank you for supporting me in getting me to this place where I can say that I'm clear, that I know who I am, that I'm honoring myself, I'm honoring my gifts, I'm honoring my wholeness, and I am leading my life the way I want to. and I am no longer at the effective life because I've seen too many people get sick. I see them in frustration and judgment and criticism, and their relationships are falling apart. Um, they're not anywhere close to where they want to be. And I feel their pain. I feel their pain because I was there. And in a way, I'm still there. I'm still on my own journey of continuing to create my dreams and evolve as, as a woman, as a person, as a creative. Um, and it really brings me joy when, um, when I can experience other women doing it and I'm coming along for the ride. That's
Mhm.
basically my vision. The more women I can see breaking free, the better I'm gonna feel.
Mhm. Let's circle back to leadership. What does good leadership looks is for you? What is it, the definition of good leadership for you?
At the core of leadership for me is personal responsibility. And I say that because of my own journey, going back to working for toxic leaders and toxic organizations. It wasn't until I ended up in the hands of an incredible woman leader who became one of my mentors, who lifted me up, who opened doors for me. Um, I recognized how she made it happen for herself. And I also recognized my own connection in allowing myself to be in toxic leadership and not do anything about it, right? So it's a combination of personal responsibility and also bringing others up. I believe that everybody is a leader. Everyone is a leader, and we all get to lead our own lives. But if I'm a leader of an organization, effective leadership that creates thriving work environments, healthy work environments, creative work environments where people want to stay, where they're engaged, where they want to grow and thrive with you, are the kinds of organizations where the leaders on top are building the leaders underneath them. It's the only way that it works. The only way that it works. And so to me, that is leadership. But in addition to that, at the core of leadership is courageous authenticity, showing up as the unique leader that you are. Um, you know, I'm a I have many, many certifications, but one of the tools that I use when I work with companies and teams is Gallup Strengths Finder. It's a simple assessment. It's a wonderful tool to use to connect people with themselves and to help teams understand how unique each person is, right? And how we all have our different strengths that we can bring to the table, and how if we put the right person in the right seat in the right bus, we can have a thriving organization. But the strengths based leadership tells us that no leader is exactly the same, right? They've done studies on like the top 1% of companies, corporations, and, around the globe. And when you look at those leaders who run those organizations, they don't all have the same strengths. They all have a combination of different strengths, right? So it's our uniqueness, our our ability to put forth our courageous authenticity that helps us to shine as leaders, right? So authenticity, personal leadership, lifting other people up, and awareness. This is the big one. As leaders, we have to pay attention. We have to pause. We have to understand what's happening around us, what our people are going through. It can't just be about achieving the goals and making the money. We won't go far as organizations, and we will lose our best people. Today, almost 8 out of 10 individuals in the workforce are disengaged. And that means that they're just showing up for a paycheck. So what does that say about our organizations, our corporations? So We have a lot of work to do.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, I think that's a good point where maybe we can turn around and go a little bit deeper into some of the inner workings of you.
Okay.
So I want to start this process off by bringing you into your own inner vision space, the subconscious, symbolic, embodied mm, space. That doesn't necessarily mean it holds anything that resembles the outside world, but it is your own space. All right, let's start out. You can close your eyes. We'll start out by just grounding and coming into the moment. So I just want you to sit comfortably and breathe. I want you to feel your connection to our earth, your feet, your sit bones, your arms. Just feel that gravity, our connection, our earth holding us, always something we can always rely on. It will always be there throughout our whole life unless we go to space. Mhm. You just feel into that. Feel it there without any ask. It's just there. And I want you to feel that it invites you to be here without any ask. There's nothing you need to do. Nobody you need to be. Just be here right now, in this moment, in this space. You don't need to worry about what comes. You don't need to worry about what happened. Just be here, breathing, resting into the embrace of the earth holding us. And you too, when you breathe in, just gonna look for spaces in your body that you feel tension and let them go. Soften when you breathe out. Soften that's around the shoulders, maybe your hands, some face muscles. Breathe and let it go. And then I want you to pay attention to the space by your heart, to your heart space. Breathe into there. You can imagine breathing in the energy from all around you into that space. The heart, your passions, your connections, your love, your heartbreak, your desires, your connection, your empathy. And just let the energy grow in that space. And then slowly, gently move up the channel all the way up to the space between your brows. Let the energy flow and connect to that space from your heart. And also grow there, illuminate the space of your vision. Just breathe in, warm, steady. And from that space between your brows, I want you to imagine the energy creating a doorway within you, in front of you, a portal, an arch, a doorway, however it manifests for you. And this is the way to your inner space of vision of your past and the things you want to bring into this world, your purpose. And I want you to slowly go through this doorway into your space, let it surround you. This is your personal space. And let's explore with our senses. Let's start with focusing on your sense of smell. If there were any smells in this space, what kind of smells?
It
And
feels
then,
just crisp. It's like a crisp smell.
Mhm.
Like if I could smell what morning dew smells like, that's what it smells like.
And what about hearing? Let's shift our focus to sounds. What kind of sounds arise in this space?
um, Leaves quaking, and I do hear water in the distance, like a flowing river or fountain.
Let's move to your sense of touch. Do you feel any specific quality in the air? Some movement, warmth, anything?
Yeah, it's a light coolness. It's not cold. It's just refreshing. Little bit of a breeze. Cool, like cool, dewy breeze.
Mm-hmm. Let's move to the sights. Let's start with close by. What do you see beneath your feet or next to you, in front of you, around you, close by?
A lot of trees close by. Um, I'm barefoot in the dirt, so I'm feeling the cool dirt under my feet. Um, Lots of little roots, tree roots around, little patches of soft grass.
Anything particular about the trees?
They're really tall, very tall, and uh, tall and skinny, but with a lot of quaking leaves moving in the wind. It's very, very peaceful.
And can you move outwards with your attention in the distance to the horizon? Do you see?
Um, a large meadow with a lot of wildflowers and some mountains in the distance.
Is there a path?
Yeah, there's like definitely a path. It almost feels like it looks like a path that's been carved out for me.
Are there any other structures, man-made objects, other people?
No, some animals,
What kind of animals?
a few deer, bunnies, and I'm not seeing them, but I almost feel the presence of like fairies.
Hmm. And if this place had a voice, what does it say to you?
Roam free, be joyful, wander.
What kind of feeling does it evoke in you?
It feels very freeing. I almost feel like dancing. It's very playful and light, almost childlike. And now
Hmm.
I'm really starting to like feel the sun, like the rays of the sun shining on me as I keep walking down the path.
Just
I feel very light in my body.
okay. Well, know that this space is there for you anytime you want to be back. But I think now it's time we say thank you and goodbye for now.
Mm.
So I want you to slowly make your way back through the portal and into your body. Feel yourself in your body in this moment. Here, you can wiggle your hands, maybe your shoulders, and then open your eyes.
Thank
And we're
you.
back.
That was fun.
That was fun. Yeah. So let me change my camera so I can get into some drawing.
Okay.
Let me see if this works. I don't see the picture yet. It's,
You look frozen, but let's see. Oh, there we
there we
go. I
go.
see it now. Okay, beautiful.
Okay. All right. So normally when I do this, I have the person go through what they see at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I hope I can still remember, but you can maybe recall some of it as well,
Sure.
and and talk about, as I'm drawing, let's talk about what these things mean for you,
Yeah. Yeah.
because yeah, I'm a big advocate for personal, um how do you say that, direct revelation, let's say it this way. So what you experience is, uh, you make the meaning of it, right?
Yeah.
Nobody can really tell you what that means.
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, I was surprised by the trees and how tall and skinny they were, but it felt like awe-inspiring. Just like
Hmm.
almost like Jack and the Beanstalk. Like they just keep reaching up and up, and the quaking of the leaves were it was just so relaxing. And so the definitely there was a lot of awe, feeling of awe and peace. Um Even though I saw myself, I almost felt childlike. So the freedom was like a childlike freedom.
Hmm.
Carefree freedom where like when you're a child and you just get lost. You don't care where you're going. It doesn't matter where the path takes you. And you're just exploring life, right? And that's when the deer started popping up and the little bunnies. And I felt the presence of, I'm calling them fairies. I didn't see them, but I felt the presence. So it's almost like I was on my own journey, but I was also guided and supported
Hmm.
in a very light way, which was which was really nice.
So I'm gonna put a little bit of um a deer here. I'm just gonna draw you. Make
Okay.
sure that this is, it's just gonna be a little faker here.
Mhm.
Barefoot. Maybe I'll do like a little bit of some outlining. There we go. This
Mm,
is your path
beautiful. I
going through the countryside all the way.
love it. I love it. Yeah. And it's almost like the grass was like tall and I could like run my fingers through the wildflowers and yeah, it just felt so freeing. Um and yet there were these huge mountains in the distance. It's almost like it was like the journey of a lifetime, you know?
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
So the tall grass is kind of um,
Yeah. It's almost like
like
you could hide in it if you wanted to.
you're a little child.
Yeah. I really was, I think. I went back
Yes.
to my
Yeah.
childhood.
Well, that makes sense. And then the trees are big and
You know, it's funny because
freedom.
I'm looking at something that I have on my wall.
Mm-hmm.
It's a prayer
Mm-hmm.
and it says, "May I be happy, may I be healthy, May I be free from suffering. May I be free of mental anxiety. May I live in peace. May my life be blessed with ease. Like that's what it felt like.
Mm-hmm. That's if I remember right, that's the loving kindness meditation that
Yeah.
you do, and then you extend it out to
Yes,
others.
you extend it out to others. May you be happy. May we be happy. Yeah.
I'm just gonna put a little bunny here to mention that. Okay. And some flowers, like the playfulness,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
playfulness of the flowers.
Yeah. I mean, my goodness, if we could do what we love and find the joy, the peace, and the play, that
Mm-hmm.
feels like a perfect life to me.
Yes, agreed. I also want to put these mountains in there that you had. What do you
Mm,
think? What do they represent to you? The mountains.
I think they represent um sorry, I'm getting a call. Okay. Um I think it's the journey, I know for me, I think it means self-actualization. It's the journey of self-actualization. It's continuing to go in the direction where our hearts and our souls want us to go and to keep climbing and to never stop reaching, but to do it in a way that is authentic and peaceful and joyful.
Mm-hmm.
It's the summit. I don't know what the summit is for myself. I like the idea of just following my bliss. And maybe that's what the mountain represents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. You're gonna get some fairies.
Yes. That's beautiful. I love it.
Now, I also want to capture the messages that you got um from the this place. And I can remember one of them was um what did we have? Be joyful, right?
Be joyful, wonder. Um, oh boy. Trying to remember what the first one was that came in. Hmm.
All right, anyone listening, if you can remember,
Put it in the chat if you
put it in
remember.
the chat. If you remember, put it in the chat.
Be joyful, wonder, be free. No, I don't know. I don't think it was be free. Um, oh gosh, I'm not sure.
Can you read this?
Yeah, I can. I love it.
I just want to make sure it's very visible.
Yeah.
And maybe I can put something darker here so it's a little bit better. Nope, that's a lot darker. um, just so it's a little bit easier to read. Okay. Yeah, I think I will keep this blue out and I will look at the transcript later and I will put this
Okay.
right here. Whatever the
Okay.
first message was, because I
Yeah.
remember you said something else.
I can't remember. Yeah, I know I did, but I can't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah.
Wow, I love it.
And I know that the hold on, this is the color. I know that if you're watching this, let me see if I can. Nope. How do I? This way, this way. Trying to turn it so it's easier. Wait a minute, this would make sense. Like this. Then I'm just gonna
Mm,
go from left, yeah, go a little bit from each side because if someone's watching this on the
yeah, on the
phone,
mobile.
they're not gonna see the whole thing.
Yeah,
There we go. Yeah.
love it.
Yeah. So yeah, once I'll look at the recording and add the first and third and first one right here.
Okay. Ah, Maria, thank you. This is so lovely. What a beautiful experience.
Yes. Yes, this is what I do. This is part of what I do. Now this is a sketch, I do this a little bit more in detail and um my main medium is actually watercolors.
Mm,
And really what I'm trying to do is, connect to this inner space that is more of an embodied vision than, like the strategy or the planning, right?
yeah.
This is
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't necessarily even need to depict anything of what you're really trying to do. Or, it's just more of a symbolic, what does this mean to you? What kind of feeling
Yeah.
are you conjuring, right, in your
Mm-hmm.
body? This is and bringing that out, I think bringing that out into art is kind of like an anchoring it into reality, and also reminding you of that feeling and giving you a portal back into that space, into that feeling that you can go through whenever you need
Absolutely.
to while you walk your path
Yeah.
to remind yourself of how it feels like, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I want to feel like that every day. And I do. I think the interesting thing is that I as much as possible, I try to create those feelings for myself. Um, and that's probably why I don't have such a clear, concrete, vision of quote unquote what I want to achieve because I feel that if I'm in a peaceful state, I'm in a joyful state, I have space to wander, I have space to be in nature, to feel connected to myself and to the world, all is well.
Mhm.
All is well.
And then you can do the work you need to do and help others
Yeah.
the way you want to help.
From a grounded, embodied place. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is great. Well, thank you for being my guest. I
Thank you
hope,
so much.
and I want to thank everyone who um was watching as well. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
I see a few friends. Hello, friends. You know who you are. Nice to see you.
Yeah, for me too. So, yeah,
Wonderful. Thank you
wonderful.
again. Thank you for your gift. I really appreciate it. It was a beautiful experience.
You're welcome. You have a wonderful night.
Thank you. You too. Good night,
Bye.
everybody. Bye bye.
Good night, everyone.